G'day DIYs, it's Chris O. So what I've done here is in my previous video I came across their level, marked where my water stop is going to go. That is where the screen is going on that mark there. So that's where my aluminium goes. Out here is further, but I want to have plenty of length in my shower floor because the waste is out a bit, it's not against the wall, so it needs quite a decent fall to get it down there before it travels out. But with the fall I've got, the water will come to about here, I'd say. But I want it to come out to full tile so it hides the aluminium water stop. Puffing a bit, just been mixing mud in that. If you're a DIY, a beginner or a beginner, and your mud is softer, drier, this is a little bit wetter than most people use, but I like it wetter. A lot of tilers like it drier. But if you're a real beginner, use it dry, and if it's too dry, use a squirty bottle to wet it up a little. I have come across flat with my wooden float. That distance, that's about 120 mil, but with my fall I need to come off the wall. As a DIYer, you can't go wrong if you concentrate on being level right around. Go in multiples of your tile and fall it from there with a water stop. I always nowadays waterproof on top of my screed, which I think is better. The only downfall I reckon is if you have to change a tile. In a couple of years time you can damage your waterproofing then. I was never a fan of splitting my tile either, but people don't seem to mind it. You are able to get a better fall, so that's what we do. I don't fight the system anymore. I used to not like to split my tile, but people are wanting more falls. This bagged mud dries so strong you can't even hit it out of a bucket. Only a certain way. I was trying to do that the other day and I thought, Jesus, This mud's incredible. So strong. There's a lot more additives in this bagged mud as well, and you don't get effervescence. It's called effervescence, is when the lime comes out of the cement into your grout lines from your screed. But when you're waterproof on top as well, it stops that. For years, it's been waterproof first and then screed on top. That screed is always full of water, which seems bloody stupid because it's grey water. It's rotting in that screed, you know, like, and I did it for years and not even questioned it because that's the way I was taught. That you waterproof first and then screed on top. But now, no. It's a no-brainer, really. Makes sense. Waterproof on top. But a lot of older bathrooms, there is a effervescence problem because it's waterproofed on the bottom. Lime is coming out and causes your grout to go all shitty. When you're waterproof on top, you don't get that. But you also don't get it with this bagged screed. So we'll go around there nicely, around that puddle flange. See what I'm doing, people? I'm going off that mark and I'm going off that. My left and right are the points I watch all the time. And then there we have nice fall down to that, and that's in the longest distance, and it's slightly past the line, so it's over line fall. For years it was always a good fall if you went to line fall at your longest point. This is slightly over, so it's even better. If you go any more than that and your shorter distance is, whoa, too steep. Way too steep, people. I don't need to give it a trowel finish. I like a wooden float finish. It's a rougher finish. When you've got dry mud, if you don't give it a trowel finish, it'll always come up sandy and shitty. when you have bagged mud, and you can do it real dry if you want to, but it's got additives in it and polymers in it, like your glue. It's way superior than just sand and cement. But a lot of tilers use sand and cement because it's cheaper. Well, $100 or $150 here and there, if you worry about $100 or $150, you've priced your job too low. You're working for peanuts. Tilers, if you whinge at the price of bagged mud, you're not getting paid enough. You got to learn to charge more for your work, because being a tiler is you got to be pretty good at what you do to be a good tiler. A good tiler. Right, we're going to that point. We're going to that point. Point. I have got to get my angle right. I can't just come up to my flat edge, which is there. I've got to come right to there. I reckon I should be using a little bit longer level. The owner is home. He's a computer guy. I don't even understand what he does, but I know I wouldn't like to do it. He's on the phone all day to people. I'm talking into a camera all day, but no, I couldn't heck being on the phone all day. Oh God, it pissed me off. I like to listen to my music, chill out, do what I'm doing. Now that's nice, very nice. Now, and what I've got to do though is make my hole big enough like so. And then I've got room to see my puddle flange there. That's the old puddle flange, but it's still a puddle flange, and I don't have to take it out and put a new one in. There's no need. That will go there like that nicely. Give it a wash. They're changing the this is not sort of, well, it's sort of brassy look, quite nice. Not bad. We'll leave that there. I'll put it right. Now what I do is I make a track against that wall, and then go across at the back of me, make another runner, and just drag it out. Easy peasy. I'll come back to you soon. Stay tuned. Pick up on my other videos, people. There's heaps there to learn. And it covers everything from woe to go. I'm going to be sloping this. Bill, there's another one to look at. I've had a few comments from Bill. He would like to see how I do it. Well, I'll show you. Hopefully I can show you properly on this one. I'll stop my screed there. I'll come straight across, and I've got the width there, so I'm able to slope it down with the door on the outside. Hey yo, we'll see you soon. Yup.